Jason, I'm Dan, and welcome to day 11. I wanted to do something that was more traditionally Halloween, but since we're not really going places or doing much, I really decided to step outside of my comfort zone and go with a character that is hella popular, but not something I thought I would ever do. And you can come along for the makeup look. And most of this will be narration, so from that point out, bye. So I've already started with a clean and primed face, and first things first, I'm putting in my contacts. As you can see, they're extra geo lenses in green. They're not my favorite, but they are the ones I had in stock when they were having a big sale, since I'm not really buying a lot of extra stuff right now because there's a pandemic and I don't have a ton of money. So here you see me putting in my contacts on each eye, getting them all settled in and everything, just getting them to sit nicely. I'm going in with my MAC foundation in my skin tone, I believe it's a 7.5, and just going ahead and putting that on with a little silicone sponge, which really isn't a sponge at all because it's silicone. Just putting that in, getting a good foundation layer all over my face. Isn't it fantastic? The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go for the eyebrows. This is an Elmer glue stick. I get them at back to school season for the whole year. They're like 50 cents a pop. Love to see it. And I'm putting on the first coat of glue, as well as now I'm going to do my magnetic lashes. So I have to put on the magnetic liner. It requires a couple of different coats. I think I just show the first or the last one. I'm not honestly completely sure at this point. It's very late while I'm recording this. As you can see, ooh, look, eyes, it's wet, let's dry it. Is that I'm going in with a just regular felt eyeliner pencil to add some to the inner eyes on each side, and now I'm taking a Q-tip to basically just touch up anything that overshot its mark. Checking the eyebrows. I'm using a little foundation powder that matches my foundation and my eyebrows to just make sure that all that fun stuff is getting filled in. I only do, I think, maybe 3 or 4 layers of glue stick in this case, mostly because I was lazy and I knew I was going to be taking off pretty soon. But generally speaking, I start putting on the glue on my eyebrows before I ever even think about doing any other makeup, just to build up each and every thin layer. You can now see that I've moved on to eyebrows, and that one was a little bit of a struggle, so we're leaving it there. This is just eyeshadow with 99% alcohol to give it that vibrant, bright color. A smarter person would not use that because it, of course, is eating into the eyebrow a little bit, and you will see later that it looks very gummy and exposed because I put a solvent right on top of it. That was a user error. So you can see I'm just going in, getting those eyebrows to be an auburn color that matches the wig. From there, I pull out my NYX Vivid Bright eyeliner in green, and I'm just going in, adding some wings and everything. They are supposed to look like leaves. I did not do a great job at detailing them. In the future, I probably would put more effort onto that. Did you know I am coming up with this makeup look on the spot? I did, of course, pull up some references for Poison Ivy overall as a cartoon character and some general looks, but this design is all coming out of my head as I put it on my face. So, you know, it's a lesson in learning. I'm also going under the eye, and now we get this lovely black and green kind of spot that overlines in the corners. Here you can see me kind of going in and drawing some leaf details. I don't think they were as bold as I wanted them to be. You know, we live, we learn. But going in also and adding a little bit more black to the green to give a nice ombre look to those sections that overlap. And doing some touch-ups if I was unhappy with things. Sharpening lines, filling in shapes, you know. From there, I'm going into that palette, and I am grabbing the darkest shade for me and going ahead and putting some contouring in green, dark green all over my face. It's kind of tealy, but it's definitely a dark green. I'm just going around my forehead and down my cheekbone to add some solid contour, and then curving that down to my chin, and then blending. As you can see here, I use both my left and right hand. I am actually ambidextrous because I can be. It makes putting on makeup a lot easier if you can do things with both sides. So you can see now I'm using a highlighter color from that same palette in a lighter green to go in and add some highlights above the contour on my cheeks. Bopping along to some tunes that you can't hear because they're copyright. But going in, now I'm adding a darker color to the middle portion of my cheek contour only. And now I'm using some of that mid-tone and I'm blending it down to my chin around that bottom section. Now I'm going into some green glitter eyeshadow and I'm putting it all over the lid of my lens and almost all the way up to my natural eyebrow, because I have hooded almond eyes, so it is very easy to lose eyeshadow there. So I'm extending it pretty high. We're not doing anything too complicated. And I think it looks pretty good. I think the glitter adds a little pop that is necessary for a dramatic character like Poison Ivy. Now I'm going ahead and adding some contouring around and on my nose, just to make my nose a little bit more prominent. I have a pretty flat nose here, so I'm just adding some highlighter in to give it a little more defined shape, as well as a slightly more green hue. And you can see that I work on my nose for a nice little chunk of time. From there, I'm using Show Me Your Cheeks, and I am putting on some blush. It is in the pale pink shade, which is very pale on me, but I use it primarily as a sparkle highlighter. From there, I'm taking some of that mid-tone light shade green and I'm kind of hitting all of the non-colored portions of my face to kind of give that overall green sheen, because Poison Ivy technically is green. I think this really does a good job of pulling together the entire look without having to do a full body paint, but also evocative of the character. I'm also taking that same eyeshadow that I used on my nose and filling in kind of the area around the eyes, as well as a darker glitter from another palette from an artist that we no longer support, but I am not throwing out makeup that I already own. I'm once again touching up the green areas around the outside of my face. And I'm going in for another coat of eyebrow. I really want it to be nice and bright. This time I'm just using dry powder. So this is basically the last step of this look. I'm using that same green liquid eyeliner as well as a black liquid liner and going in and adding little freckles all along the cheek and temple. I think this really honestly adds a really cool evocation of Poison Ivy to the plant itself, as well as kind of making the character my own, as I love little freckles like this. I think they really speak to a character. I did not put any on my nose specifically because I honestly forgot, and also because I do wear glasses, and even at conventions sometimes I need to slip them on, and nothing upsets me more than my makeup getting smeared because of something that I need to see. So sadly, I don't own any dark green lipstick. I pretty much have blacks and red, but I do have a lot of eyeshadow, as you see. So I'm going in with my personal favorite brand that will not be named lipstick, which I own and I'm not throwing away, but will not be repurchasing. And then I am touching it up, obviously, with a Q-tip since I did not line it. I like to live on the edge that way. And then going over it with that mid-tone green on all of the lower part of my lip, basically muting the tone and adding a green kind of feel to the whole entire thing. And then I'll go back over the whole outside edge now, kind of using it like a liner with the red and smearing that all together to give this really cool frosted look to the lips with what I have lying around at home. And just like that, I'm doing a little bit of cleaning touch up with a little foundation, but other than that, this is the final look. Let's throw a wig on and see what it looks like. Hi y'all, Editor Dan here once again. It is stupid o'clock in the morning. That's basically the only time I have when I'm not working to get editing done. I hope you really enjoyed this look. It was a first time for me, and I think I'm going to probably keep it around when con season ever comes back. So if you like what I did here, please hit that thumbs up button. While you're down there, subscribe and ring that bell so you know when I put things on the internet. And while you're down there, leave a comment. Are there any other looks that you really enjoy? And until then, just remember, I'm a LARPer, just darker.